Hi everybody, I'm Emily from Sebastian Sloane NYC on Instagram. My TikTok is eShappy. It's my personal TikTok. I don't really have a fiber art specific TikTok right now. Too much to handle. Anyway, welcome to my first YouTube video. So my thought process here was, first, before I get into anything, I need to see what is in my apartment. So today we are going to go through every single whip and ball of yarn in my apartment in New York City and put it away. Yeah, so if you want to come along for that, welcome, come along. I'm happy to have you. So right over here is my whip pile. It's my pile of every single work in progress that I have right now. There are a lot. And over here is the piles and piles of yarn that I own. So the plan is to go through all of this, sort it, put it into the right place, and put it away. My goal is to get all the yarn sorted, as well as sort all of the whips and make sure they're all in the right bags and I have all the supplies for them. So I thought the best way to start us off would be to sort the whips because I have a coat rack where I hang my whips on. So I'm going to go through the projects and keep the ones that I'm working on the most right now out, and then hang the ones up on the lowest rungs if I'm working on them the least, like if it's a summer project or something like that. So that is the plan. Okay, let's get into it. To start us off, I have this whip. It's a bag, it's a crocheted bag with some yarn that I got from Mittens. I don't have the name of the yarn, but it's a cascade wool, and I am crocheting a bag and I'm going to felt it. However, there's no rush for this and I have way more important things to do, so this bag is going on the bottom of the coat rack. Next up, this yarn that I thrifted. I am making the Anthropology-Inspired Hat on Ravelry. It is a free pattern for a hat inspired by this hat from Anthropology, and I will someday finish it, but for now that is not the day, so this will again be hung on a lower rung. However, I do think I will revisit this because it's a really cute spring project. Up next, we have this yarn cone that I corded up and turned into this bag with single crochets and this giant crochet hook. And then one day I'll finish doing that, and then I'll make this green. I cord the trim with this green thread. However, again, that's not today. This is really heavy and it's exhausting to just cord for hours. Next up, I have a top that I'm making. It's a knitted version of the Funky Fringes top from Etsy, and this is the colors I'm doing. It's a crochet pattern. I'm doing it as knit, but in pattern, you change colors, you leave the strings and they create fringe. So the colors that I am using are all cascade yarns from Mittens. I am using, these are not their names, but this purple, this green yellow, and this tan sand color. So I think that will be really fun. However, I have more important tops to make. Next, we have an unstarted project. It is this ball of yarn that I got at Rhinebeck. I actually have the info on this. So this yarn, I got it at Rhinebeck, which if you don't know is the New York Sheep and Wool Festival held in Rhinebeck, New York. And this is from AngoraOnline.com, hand-dyed sock yarn. It's a superwash merino, 80%, 20% nylon, 400 yards, and it is colored to look like my cat. That's why I bought it, but it's not actually made to look like her. So I'm gonna make that and these DPNs from Mittens into Jingga the cat, a pattern from Ravelry. However, I can't start Jingga the cat until I finish my mittens, which are also a DPN project. So we'll get to that. Up next is the Cervo top by Two of Wands. It's a crochet button-up top, I'm really excited about it, and I started crocheting it. I bought the kit actually on sale. I've been crocheting it on and off for like years. So one day I'll finish it and I'll be really happy. But again, it's an on and off project. So the next one we have, the pattern is called Scullery Cat. It's this knitted cat, and I did it in Tarza for the first time. I hated it. But I have really put a pause in making this because it's acrylic yarn on metal needles and it's really not enjoyable. And I have other plans to make cats that look like my cat. So I won't frog this yet because I did work really hard on it, but I'm not like crazy about working on it. Next up, we have a free-handed V-neck that I started with some Hobie Carnival that my brother got me for Hanukkah. And I honestly think this could come out really bad, but I really like how the yarn looks, so we're gonna shoot our shot and see how it goes. It's specifically inspired by this shirt that Kelsey wears in High School Musical 2, wearing orange, purple, black, and white stripes, and I'm obsessed with it. So anyway, that is a whip that I will be working on. However, it's an acrylic yarn, but I'm using a loose gauge, so weather-wise, it doesn't really matter. But color-wise, it's giving fall, so I'm not in a rush over summer projects to finish it. Next one is pretty scary. I'll show you the picture I drew, and then you can guess the vibes. Oh yeah, we freehanded some leopard. So this is what I have so far. Leopard. So the black sock yarn comes from Spun Ann Arbor, and I got it to match some yarn that I got in Las Vegas at a yarn store that doesn't exist on Google Maps. The black fingering yarn is scraps. The black fluff is a friend of mine gave me all of her really nice yarn hand-me-downs. Shout out Jeannie, Geannie, not like Aladdin. Anyway, so shout out to her for that. Then the rainbow fluff is one of the Diablos from Hobie, as again, a gift for my brother. Shout out to my brother. And the rainbow sock yarn is a spin cycle ombre that I thrifted, and it has all these crazy colors in it. I'll show you the other yarns. I realized I didn't show them to you. This one. Black fluff is just black fluff, black sock. I would like to finish this around the springtime, but it doesn't really matter because it's going to be a super warm hat. So it's not like urgent because it's going to be a haute couture when I'm wearing it, you know? Okay, yeah. Next, we have a semi-finished whip, but I want to give it more. So right now, I have this crocheted and knitted. The button band is knitted. Little bolero, but I think I want to give it sleeves, so I have the yarn to do that, and I have all the leftovers, so I'm going to keep that as is and maybe make the sleeves one day. Next up, I have the scraps from my Spektakelstrik striped cardigan, and I started making this beret, and it needs to be changed. Anyway, that's a whip. Next, we have a double whammy 2-for-1 bag. The first thing we have is this, made with, this is from Knitty City. It's 50% wool, 50% acrylic Plymouth yarns. This is a fully acrylic yarn from Michaels, but I am freehanding this cool beanie. Second of all, we have a hat that I'm knitting for my friend. So it's a wool hat, and it has mustard yellow and dark brown, so I needed more yarn, so I got this to add in. So those two hats involve some thinking. So they share this whip bag, and again, there's not so much of a rush, although I know my friend would like her hat. However, I have other things I have to get done, so we have 2 more left in this section, I think. This skirt that I started crocheting, I don't know where my notes are for it, but the yarn is the Knitty City Manhattan Henge yarn. And if you don't know, Knitty City is a yarn store on the Upper West Side of Manhattan in New York City. And it is my local yarn store, and I go there often. This is a custom yarn that is dyed for their store 2 times a year, I think. The way that the sun sets, there's this thing called Manhattan Henge, and on certain streets you can stand from east to west and see the sunset straight down the avenues, and it's very beautiful. And they have a yarn colorway dedicated to it because you can see it in our neighborhood. I also have these sequins from eBay, so that's a summer project that I'll finish someday. And last but not least, we have my emotional support chicken. It's just this blue color. It's a knitted pattern, and the bag is from Cleo's. I got it when I went to Rhinebeck. Okay, and then I did save the best for last. So let's start with this one. This is a cardigan for my grandmother. It is the Maggie cardigan. It's the Maggie cardigan. Anyway, so I'm making that. I need to try it on. The yarn is sponsored from Knitting Fever. Shout out to Knitting Fever. It's really beautiful. It's Ella Ray cashmere. It's beautiful, and I am gonna get working on this actually really soon because it's beautiful for spring and I would like her to have it. So we have a dress that I am freehanding crochet for my friend as a commission for her to wear on vacation. Sorry, there's a sewing needle in it. This is the yarn. It's a Hobie cotton, and it's gonna be a backless short sleeve dress. Next, we have a really fun project. It's a scrappy scarf I am making for my roommate with all of my leftover gray yarns. I have this bag of gray yarns. Shout out Flywheel, RIP in peace. And yeah, next we have my finished Eve dress by Lip Hole. However, it needs to be a little longer. It didn't get as long as I wanted in blocking, and it needs the armholes to be smaller. So I have all the yarn, and I'm gonna crochet and use magic. So that has to be finished though, like that's so lit. Next, oh my Shaylas. I'm so terrible. My babies, we have these cat mittens. I love them. The yarn is Cascade yarn from Knitty City, and this pattern is super cute. I'll have all the patterns linked below, allegedly. And yeah, I've been working on that. This is the first time I've enjoyed DPNs. I really like making mittens and doing the color work. Okay, we've got 4 whips left. Coming in at 4th place of most interesting whips that are left over is this free-handed, oh gosh, why is it so tangled? Oh, it's because I brought the knitting needles in public. This t-shirt that I'm freehand knitting, this is thrifted mystery yarn, and this is thrifted petite knit wool. I have the ball of it. And yeah, that's pretty fun. I'm enjoying that project. It's just ribbing down the torso, and we'll see if I add like a skirt to the bottom because I do have a lot more of the nude yarn, but we'll see what the vibe is. Number 3 is this scarf. It's a pattern that I bought on Ravelry, and this will be my second one, and I really enjoy the pattern. It's a lace repeat. You can't see because this is unblocked, but this is the yarn. Again, Carnival yarn from Hobie, a gift from my brother. Shout out. It's really, really pretty, and I think it will be so cute for spring. Okay, next up, we have this Sophie Hood, and I am making it out of this white Angora, which so that's literally insane. I hope I have enough. And because I am, making a white hood, I'm going to be decorating it and making it fun. I have a lot of bright colored fluff, so I'm thinking I want to put hearts on it in like super neon pink. but we're just gonna see what happens. However, obviously I'm not gonna just keep it as a white hood, and I am going to zhuzh it up a little bit, and it's still gonna look really nice. I'm very excited. So yeah, I just really wanted to use my Angora in a project where I thought the stitch definition would be really good, but it also is a fun pattern. Like, the Sophie scarf to me was really boring because there's not enough stitches, and it's like, it's too much flipping. So this has been more engaging for me. I've really liked it. So anyway, Sophie Hood, pretty good. Last but not least, I have this fluff from eBay. It's 50% acrylic, 35% mohair, and 15% wool, with this crazy gorgeous Noro from Knitting Fever. Thank you so much. And this guy is 100% wool. And I am making this sweater again from a Ravelry pattern. And this is the front. And you can see how the stripes kind of get thinner in the front. So the way that the stripes get thinner and then thicker is like the main point of the pattern. It uses short rows. It's very cool. So I'm alternating the fluff with the stripes. The designer did hers in navy and white and very nautical look, but I'm going for a vintage 80s inspired vibe. And that is my most active whip. I would love to finish it this winter so I can wear it now. Okay, so we're back to the yarn, back to the cleaning. So I just took a look around, and I think I'm gonna organize the yarn in the following way. I am going to separate out things by quantity and material. So animal fibers together, etc. And then what's a sweater's quantity, what's a medium-sized project's quantity, and what are random 1 or 2 balls of yarn. Okay, this is my view of the living room right now. And yeah, I'm gonna start separating, and I'll make sure you're all able to see everything. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is take these sweater quantities and put them into a bin. So I'm going to do that, and as I do it, I will talk through them and introduce all the yarns. Hi everybody, and welcome to the floor of my apartment, where we are going to take a look at this bin of yarn. This is the first bin so far. There are 3 bins. This one is all of the sweaters quantity of yarn that I have, or more or less full-size project quantities. I thought this would be the most interesting to start with. So the first yarn I want to talk about is this cashmere. It's dark brown and it's really soft. So I have 10 balls of this, and it was gifted to me by a friend of mine who inherited a lot of yarn. So shout out to my best friend Bibi and her mom, who's also my best friend Robin. Shout out to this yarn. It's really beautiful, and I'm saving it for one day. I will buy an equal amount of a mohair or some fluff and make a beautiful sweater. I should also add in that it's a lace weight. It's very, very small. Like, it breaks when you just like, it's very, very it needs to be strengthened. Up next, we have this yarn that I bought from eBay. It's kind of hard to see, but it's dark purple, but more grape juice than like blue toned. Anyway, it is what is this? It's a wool blend. It's mostly wool. It's a boucle. It's got these curlies. I'll hold it up so you can see what it looks like. Anyway, I have a bunch of these. I bought it on eBay and I'm excited to use it. I have a bunch of these. It's an acrylic yarn made to look like a mohair. The strands are one white and one of the blue, teal. It's a light teal color, think very like Lily Pulitzer, and I want to make a loose knit sweater out of this. That is, again, from eBay. I did thrift it. A lot of this yarn is thrifted. Another thrifted yarn, I have this lace weight white mystery yarn. I think it's a cotton wool blend. I bought a cone of this at my local Housing Works, which is a thrifting chain in New York City, and I bought it and I've never used it and I hated it being in a cone. One day I just caked the whole thing up. It took like actually hours. It took so long. I have 6 of these giant cakes and I will one day make something. Okay, let's move. Keep it moving. Up next, I have, let me pull out the nice caked one. I have 4 of these beautiful hand-dyed cottons. I'm not going to take them off top. It has I have a swatch of it that I started, but I'm going to take it apart. It's a sport weight cotton, and it has these flecks of like navy and mustard in it, and it's really pretty. My mother bought it for me from Nitty City, and one day I will use it. The reason I'm really glad that I didn't use this, as evidenced by this future hexagon cardigan, is that I feel like now I have such a better understanding of what to do with a cotton yarn and how the fabric will look, and I'm really glad that I've learned more so I can really put that yarn to good use. Next up, I have 4 of these kubus. It's like an acrylic cotton bamboo thing. It's really soft. I really like it. And I bought it in a kit, but I didn't make the kit. I just kept the yarn. But it was cheaper to buy the kit. So I do have actually a really cute pattern. It's like a heavier weight yarn version of camisole number 9. Up next, we have some of these Hobie Friends wools. They are new. I bought them in January, and I really wanted to try this yarn. It's really soft. It has a little halo. I don't know if you can see, the lighting's not amazing. It's a little bit more green than it shows up, and a little bit more just like turquoise, you know? And I think I want to pair it with this, which I bought from Amazon because I had a gift card. And it's a turquoise metallic yarn with black fluff, which is wool or mohair or something. So I have a bunch of these and a bunch of those, and I think it would be really interesting to do some color work. Keeping it moving, I have some of this Hobie seashell yarn in these 2 colors. It's a dark olive hunter color and a lavender, and this is a knot wool, so it's actually like another summer fiber. I don't have too many of those. Then I have 2 of these wools. They are the Silly Socks Disco by Hobie. They smell so good. I have 2 of each color, and they reflect in the light, so I want to make some really cool, like summery, like reflective garment to wear in the black light. Then I have some of these Barocco yarns. They do come from some sentimental place, but I can't remember where I bought them, but they're really soft. They might be from Europe or a trip to Michigan or California. I don't remember, but they're so soft. Anyway, I really like this, and I used it in something, and I'm going to finish them up someday because I have 2 full skeins of it. And lastly, I have 3 of these I thrifted at a local thrift store I go to on the Upper East Side. They are hedgehog fiber, the tweed, with all these awesome colors. So as you can barely see, lots of cool colors. So I have 3 of those, and I don't know what I'll make with them. Anyway, that's all the sweater quantities I have, and let's get into the sub sweater quantities of little bits of yarn that I can make slightly bigger projects with. First up, I have 3 of these mystery fluffs from Downtown Yarn that were a gift from my aunt, and again, I am saving them to use them in a way that they'll be truly appreciated. They smell so good. I have a bunch of this mystery chunky recycled fluff from Michael's. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. I have most of 1 and about half of 2 Karen coconut cakes. I have 3 of these vintage fluffs. I think it's an acrylic mohair vibe. They're navy blue. I have 2 of these very, very cool from Downtown Yarns cotton bouclés. I have 3 of this sock yarn from Knitty City in different dye lots. So I can't make one big project with them, but like I would just need to like be aware. So that is something to think about. I have 2 of each of these. They're a fluff from Hobie and they have sparkly running through them. Well, it's more like shimmery. It's not like chunks of sparkles. Anyway, those are super soft and pretty. I also have 2 of each of these, a little bit of the blue I used, but oh gosh, oh goodness gracious, we have made a mess in here. Hold on. These yarns are tangled, help. Okay. Anyway, okay. 2 of these shiny balls of Hobie yarn. I have 2 of each of these Hobie yarns with sequins. I do have 2 of this vintage, very soft wool. I have two balls of this mystery fingering weight wool, but it looks like Malabrigo, but oh god, I dropped it. It looks like Malabrigo, but I don't think it's Malabrigo, and I don't feel a label in here on the inside. So then I have 2 of these mystery balls of, I think, acrylic, and it's very interesting. I like the colors, and it's like kind of ugly. I love it. I have 3 of these. They're like a very novelty yarn, again, from my beloved family friends, who inherited a bunch of yarn. This is also from them. Beautiful stuff. I have 3 of them, and I'll probably make a tiny purse. And then lastly, I have 2 of each of these colors, which I bought in Loop London, of this baby alpaca, non-mohair, but still a fluff. They're also really soft and they smell good. So those are the yarns that I have that are not full project size, but they're definitely usable quantities for smaller projects or to combine with a second yarn. All right, I know we are backlit, but let's get going with this last bin. It's gonna be all of the singular balls of yarn that are not like full projects. Okay, gold, sequins, Knitty City. This is Barocco acrylic. It's like insanely soft. I really recommend this. Comfort Chunky. Oh, it's nylon and acrylic. Sorry, I'm scratching my nose, sue me. It's really soft. I bought it at Spun in Ann Arbor. 1.5 balls of this reflective yarn from Hobie. When you put it in the flash, it reflects. Okay, we've got fluff, sequins. Oh, the fluff comes from Downtown Yarn from my friend's collection that she gave me. This sequins comes from Knitty City. This is a complete mystery white wool. We have a white fluff, mystery navy that you cannot even see, but I think it's wool. Here we have some black fluff from my friend Jeannie. This is some leftover denim from my personal collection. It's really navy blue, this like tape kind of yarn. Green fluff. All the random fluff, unless specified otherwise, does come from Jeannie's collection. So a huge shout out to her. Then we have these 2 leftovers from Karen latte cakes that I bought at Michael's. Acrylic. Leftover wool from Knitty City. It is magenta. It's very nice. This is some green wool from Jeannie's collection. Also nice. This is 1 ball of thrifted navy blue fluff. This is from Jeannie's collection. It's a wool. This is a fluff that I purchased it must have been purchased in Italy, like in 2020. This yarn I got in my goodie bag for attending the New York Stitch and Pitch, which is a Mets event. Basically they rent out an area of the Mets game, and it's sponsored by this event called the Stitch and Pitch. and you get a ticket and you get a goodie bag and everyone sitting in the section is knitting. It was literally the most packed section of the whole game. Hugely fun event. I will be going next year and I will be bringing my friends. Well, I went with my friend too, but unfortunately she has moved out of the city. But if she's here, she's invited, obviously. Hey, Sarah. This, beautiful, you guys can't even see it. It's like dark brown with mocha, twisted, beautiful yarn. It's so pretty. I thrifted that. Then I have these two balls of yarn that I think are from Knitty City. And if you can't tell, this has, it's like a dusty teal, but it has purple fluffs, and then this purple looks really great with it. I have this ball of Hobie Carnival, which is some of the yarn started in the other projects from the gift from my brother. That is an acrylic yarn, and this is also an acrylic yarn, which is super, super soft. It is the Fantasy Jumbo, and I'm also, again, saving this because this is a good amount of a bulky yarn, so I think it would be really perfect for a mitten of sort. Oh, and lastly from my brother is this Hobie Metallico, which is, like, honestly, it was crazy. I didn't expect him to pick a plain white, so I thought it was a very good choice. Next, we have miscellaneous mustard colored fluff. We have miscellaneous pink fluff that comes from Italy. We have this hat that I hand spun myself that I will be unraveling and reusing the hand spun yarn, but I did spin this yarn, so that's pretty cool. This teeny bit of black yarn, I don't know where it comes from. It's very small, but I kept it. I have two, nope, okay, two bits of this scrap yarn. It's Hobie, chunky, fluffy, nice stuff. It's very good. It's acrylic. I really like it. I have this beautiful hand-dyed roving. You can't even see. It's like silver with brown and green and pink and brown and yellow and blue. It's insane. I have this, which I kind of need to keep to fix some leg warmers. It's just a random acrylic. This fluff comes from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Spun. This yarn comes from the same as that light pink one and the tan one earlier. These are from Italy. This is just a straight up ball of black thin cotton. It's very nice and cold. This is an ombre cake of acrylic. It's almost finished, but I have some of it left and I'll keep using it. I have these various bits and bobs of mohair. We have a peach. We have a rose. We have a variegated, it's giving Monet vibes. You guys can like barely even see my screen, whatever. It's giving Monet, you can't tell, but it's beautiful. Lavender, lilac, gray, red. We have copper silk blend from eBay. We have a leftover beautiful fluff. I don't know where this one's from. It's very soft and it smells very good. I have this tiny purple ball of a lace weight. There is this beautiful roving yarn that I bought to go with this roving yarn. They're both from LA, from Jennifer Knits LA. So if you're looking to buy some yarn and you want to support an LA business who was affected by the wildfire, Jennifer Knits LA is an awesome brand. I met her in person at her store and they're super nice and they specialize in cashmere. So if you're looking to get into cashmere. Anyway, I have this pink fluff, another roving yarn in a dark gray, almost tie-dye color, obsessed. I have this chainette yarn, two more different brown fluffs. These are different, but they're both fluff. A variety of this pink yarn that is partially projected up. This from Facebook Marketplace. It's variegated shades of blue, but it overall looks turquoise. This thing from Knitty City. Did you see that squish? One day that will be something. The rest of this, which is the Duke and I, by 5 Bro Yarns in the boucle base, and it's so nice. It was really fun to work with. I have a little bit of this black yarn from Loop London, some gray fluff, some olive green fluff, this like goth flower grape juice vibe color of roving style yarn, a little bit of this color, I think it's called by like Sad Boys Be Quiet or something. It has a really funny name, by Haunts Design. This beautiful ball of yarn that was sent to me by Knitting Fever, and it's really, really nice, and I made a scarf out of one of the balls, so I'm thinking I'll make a matching winter accessory with this one. We have this cone from Downtown Yarns. It is beautiful. It's white silk with sparkly light pink and green little nuggets on it. And we only have 3 more. We have this leftover acrylic from Michaels, this leftover orange from Hobie, from a cake, and this leftover wool blend of fluff. It's actually a silver chainette yarn with a black mohair. Oh my god, all the yarn is put away. So I actually forgot one ball of yarn. It is this. It is a cake of mohair, fur, and sparkly. And I got it in Italy, in Lecce, in this teeny tiny yarn store next to this cat. And it was this woman, and she didn't speak any English, and we communicated through Google Translate, and she was incredible. And one day this will be an incredible shawl. Thank you all so much for coming to my video. I hope you had fun. If you have any ideas for what to do with any of the yarn, please let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You know, do all the things. Leave me engagement. I'm new here. Well, I'm not new here. I'm new to YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. I'm very active over there. Sebastian Sloane NYC. Bye.